How's it guys? How's it guys? Welcome back to the live stream. And I'm Dylan here. I'll be taking you guys through the whole crypto market. I'll be going over a lot of charts, so stay tuned if you guys want to find out where the next price of your coin might go to. Also, be sure to comment down, and if you guys have something to say, I'll answer any questions that you guys want, and let's get going. So basically, what this whole live is about is CPI, right? So we have CPI tomorrow, which is one of the biggest events within the year. It's inflation. So this will be a massive event tomorrow, and I'll show you exactly what we should be expecting. So looking at the CPI now, we can see that it's happening at 3:30 p.m. tomorrow SA time, and this is on Forex Factory. If you guys want to go on Forex Factory, you can come to this website. It's forexfactory.com. And let's just say you guys are from Nigeria, Belgium. If you want to change your time zone, you just come to the top right here, and it will show you the time zone. So obviously I'm in South Africa, so I click here, and then I choose my time zone. So it's just easier to just see where it is in terms of your time zone. So looking at CPI, so we have CPI month-to-month, CPI year-on-year, core CPI month-to-month, and then unemployment claims. So at 3:30 p.m. SA time tomorrow, it's going to be huge impact to the market, and we're going to see massive moves to the upside or the downside. The thing is, we don't know what it's going to be. So then that's why I keep telling people we shouldn't be trading during news, because you only know the outcome after the news comes out, right? So then why trade and guess what it's going to be? So rather wait for the news to come out and then look at what's happening. So basically, if all four of these events are higher than the forecast, so let's just say the CPI month-to-month is higher than negative 0.1, the CPI year-on-year is higher than positive 6.5, and so on, then it will be bullish for the dollar. Okay, and what we'll see is the dollar start to move to the upside. And then obviously that would have an inverse effect to the Bitcoin and crypto and Ethereum and all your altcoins that you have. So tomorrow is going to be massive. I would not suggest trading during these times, as it can cause a massive impact to the market. And this will probably be the biggest impact within January thus far. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over some CPI events that have happened in the past. So I'm going to go over the most recent one, which was the 13th of December, and I'll show you how it affects the price, and obviously, how much volume it has, just to give you a visual representation of what you can expect. Okay, so looking over here, let's just take a look at that number quickly before we get in the charting. So it was on the 13th of December, which is over here, right? So this whole candle here was, so this whole move here was the 13th of December, and that's when we got a massive move to the upside. And this was due to CPI. So obviously the CPI data was negative for the dollar, and that's why we got this massive move to the upside. So tomorrow we can potentially see similar moves to the upside for Bitcoin. We can potentially see moves back to the 18,200. It's definitely possible, but we can also see moves back down to the 1 hour resistance at 16,900. So tomorrow is going to be very important, and you guys must watch out for the news, because it can definitely catch you off guard. So this is just a visual representation of what can happen within a couple hours. So if you guys are new here and you just joined, just make sure you put stuff in the comments. And if you want me to look at a graph or anything like that, any charts that you want, I can do so for you. So let's get straight into the charting. There's not much other news going on. We just have the fear and greed index still at 26. So basically it's as it kind of what it was in the last month or so. So let's get straight into it. So first up, we're going to be looking at Bitcoin, and then we'll be looking at all the other coins. So let's get into it. So looking at Bitcoin on a higher time frame, so on the weekly, I've gone through this chart before, and this chart basically is telling us that we are respecting this trend line that is drawn. So you can see that this trend line over here has been respected multiple times, right? So we are respecting the zone. And what I've been saying is once we break below the zone, once we break below here, then we can definitely see a 12,000 Bitcoin. But at the moment, we're still holding this level. So then we don't have to look at these targets. And at the moment on the weekly candle, if we close bullish on this week candle, what we can see is potential targets of, up here at around 18,300, and then can carry on to around about 18,800, which is our next support zone. So if this week closes bullish, depending on CPI numbers tomorrow, we'll find out. But if it closes bullish, then we can expect a massive increase to the upside. So be sure to watch out for that, within tomorrow. So it is at 3:30 p.m. and it's going to be huge news. So yeah, the weekly is still looking bullish. We had a nice weekly close last week, and this week is currently bullish. But depending on the news tomorrow, we should see some movement. So tomorrow will be huge. Yeah, so let's take a look at a deeper dive into the current situation of Bitcoin. So we're gonna go on the 4 hour, and yeah, so let's take a look at that. So when looking at this chart over here, you can see that okay, we're trading in a range, right? We're trading in this range over here. And then we actually broke out of this range. We found the 1 hour support as support. So this was our resistance, and then we found it as support, and then we actually got to move to this zone over here. So this zone over here is acting as significant resistance, and then obviously support. And then you can see that we didn't break through over there, and then we actually broke through yesterday, and now we kind of consolidating. So our next point of interest would be this zone, which is currently finding resistance at the moment. So let's look at this zone. So let's just say that price breaks above here. What can we expect? We can expect a move back up to the major resistance zone, because when looking left, you can see that the next zone of resistance is this area, right? So in order for us to look at longs, we need to break this zone at 17,500. So I was speaking about this area. So 17,500, we'll need to break this area in order for us to be more bullish to the upside at around about 18,200. So short term, we are looking bullish. We've had a nice uptrend formed on the 4 hour. Currently, we still remain bullish, and obviously tomorrow we need to watch out for some CPI news. Yeah, sure. How's it, guys? Yeah, I'll definitely go over LTC for you, Charles. I'll do that after this chart. Yeah, there's been a lot of requests for LTC, and I can show you there's a massive potential gains that you can be made there. So we can take a look at that after I've done this. So looking over here, what I've been saying, we need to break this zone, and then if we don't break it, then we can consolidate a bit more. But obviously tomorrow we have news. So looking at this, we need to break the 17,500 mark. Yeah, let's take a look at LTC for you now. Yeah, I'm going to change the color because I did it in black. So basically, I was actually sent this to the one group this morning. I was looking at this on the 4 hour charts. Okay, so you can see where is our resistance and our support zone. So when zooming out here, we have this zone at the top here. So this was our recent resistance zone, and currently we are finding resistance at this area. And then looking above that, where's our next support zone? Is over here, right? Our next support zone is over here, which is at 93.6. So in order for us, in order for LTC to move to this zone, what needs to happen? We need to break above this level. So we need a candle. We need a 4 hour candle to close above this zone in order for us to move up, right? If we don't get a 4 hour candle closure, then it's most likely to reject, and that's what's happening now. So I sent this in the group saying waiting for a 4 hour closure above this area, and then looking for longs back up to 93.6. So this percentage move can be 12 to 13%, because if you're looking left here, there's nothing in between here. The only resistance is at the top, right? So if it breaks above the zone, we can expect quite a big impulse move. It'll be very quick. It'll be within a couple hours, and it can move very quickly. So beware to put this on your chart. Entries would be at around about 83.38. 83.38 would be your entries for long positions, and this will be a swing trade. So swing meaning a longer time frame, higher time frame trade. Scalp trading is when you're doing short-term trades on a smaller time frame. So this would be a swing trade. But what you need a 4-hour candle closure above 83.38. If you don't get that, you can see at the moment we haven't got that. So we're going to wait. We're not going to get in yet. We want to wait for confirmation, right? So that's what I'll be looking at for Litecoin. This could be a very, very good trade, as there's not much resistance happening within this zone. So we might just see a massive move to the upside. So that's what I'm looking at for OTC. And you can see that it's been one of the more higher volume coins out of all the altcoins. So very interesting. Yeah, so basically now I'll be going over, I'll show you Polkadot, also quite interesting. So I actually had a long on Polkadot at the bottom of here. I hold it for until around about, it was something like this. And I think I took profit at around about these levels. So you can see for Polkadot, it's similar to the OTC situation. So the OTC situation is that, you know, the Litecoin. So what we just went through. So we had the resistance over here. And once we broke above here, there's nothing in between, right? So if there's nothing in between here, there's no resistance or support, what is going to happen? We tend to see a massive move, and it's very quick because there's no buyers and sellers in these areas. There's only sellers above here and buyers below here, right? So, you know, you have to take note of that, and that's why there was a massive move, and it was very quick to the upside. You can see that this was within a couple hours. It was about 12 hours, and we hit this level at the top here, which was our support. So looking at Polkadot now, what I'll be looking for is some type of break above here. If we get a break above 5.0, let's actually move this up. We want it above this zone, right? Because that's our previous high. So when you're drawing your lines, you want to put it above your previous high over here, and then you can see left. It's valid. It's a valid support zone, right? So what we'll need now, we'll need some type of candle closure above 5.038 in order for us to move to the upside, right? So if we don't get that, then we can just consolidate a bit. But looking at this now, it's looking very good. So what normally happens after a massive impulse move like this, we come down, we consolidate for a while, and then we tend to come up or come down. So yeah, so Polkadot looking very good. What I'll be looking at it is if we break this zone, then we can look for longs to around about where is our next resistance. It is over here. So let me draw that out for you guys. It is around about here, right? So this is our next zone. So if we break this zone at 5.038, then I'll be looking at longs to the upside over here. Something like this. And that is a 4.11% move to the upside. So yeah, that's what I'll be looking for Polkadot. And yeah, you can just see that whenever there's no resistance in between here, you tend to move up quickly. So I'll just play this back just to show you how quick this movement is. So you can see that there's no resistance here, and you can just see how quickly we move to the upside. So that's similar to what I was saying about Litecoin over here. There is nothing in between here. So it's the same concept, same everything. So that's why I'm thinking Litecoin could be a nice 10 to 13% move within a couple hours. So please be aware of this. Your entry would be at 83.38. And then let's take a look at, I want to look at the dollar quickly, the dollar index, because what's important to note here is that we are currently at a crucial level. Let me just change this to light. Sorry, my charts are different because of short-term and long-term trades, so I have different colors. So for this, you can see that we're in a downtrend for the dollar, right? So we've been creating these lower lows and lower highs, and at the moment we have broken this structure over here. So this zone over here was broken within the last couple hours and throughout yesterday. So looking at this now, is where is our next zone of interest? So our next zone would be the 101.259, okay? And if this has to happen, then crypto could be in for a massive pump. And why I say that is because the dollar has been very weak lately, and you can see that it's still carrying on in this downtrend. It's creating these lower lows and lower highs. So we need to watch out for tomorrow's news. I can't emphasize how important tomorrow is. Tomorrow will give us direction, right? Currently we are bullish on the short-term time frame, but that might get unfolded to be bearish depending on the news. So that's why I'm saying be aware of the news tomorrow. It's very important to understand how this has an effect on the charts. So basically, if the dollar index comes down to zones such as 101, we can see a big pump for the crypto market cap. So just be aware of where we are currently over here. Then looking at the USDT dominance, I was speaking about this the other day as well. So think about it. When the USDT dominance goes down, what happens to crypto? We tend to go up, right? Because if you're looking at it, it is BTC USDT, right? So it is inversely proportional to one another. So what I mean by that is whenever this comes down, you can see over here, Bitcoin tends to go up, and I can show you that. So let's just take a look at the 5th of Jan to now and see how that correlates to Bitcoin. You can see how it correlates perfectly well, right? So from the 5th of Jan over here, we had a massive move to the upside, right? So it was from here. So we had around about a 5% move to the upside, and that's because the USDT dominance is coming down, right? So yeah, I'm also looking forward for 18,000 Bitcoin. I do think that it will happen, and within the next couple of days we can see it. So it honestly depends on these numbers tomorrow, so just be aware of that. So like I was saying now, so what happens over here is we're getting this movement to the downside, and what will be very nice to see, obviously in the long term we are still currently bearish, but once we break certain levels like 21,000 on Bitcoin, then we can start to flip our mindsets a bit. But for the USDT dominance here, if this breaks and we get a candle to close it below the 7.9%, then we can definitely see a move to the downside, right? We can definitely see a move to the downside. So that would be very bullish for crypto, right? Because it's inversely proportional. So we need to be aware of that. And yeah. So let's take a look at Chainlink. There's a few other coins I want to go over. We've got Cardano as well. And yeah, at the moment everything's currently bullish. And looking at Chainlink now, so this whole zone over here has been acting in a range since the 9th of May 2022. So I'm not going to say a year, but it's, what is that, 6 months? I don't want to get my math wrong, but yeah, so within this range, okay, you can see that we've been trading in this range, and we actually broke down, but we closed above this area. So we currently back in the range, right? So what I was expecting is price closed below here. We could be expecting a movement down, but we didn't get that, and that's because of how weak the dollar is. So the dollar is very weak at the moment, and that is why we're getting a massive move to the upside. And at the moment, you can see that we are holding our support at this level at 6.093. I'll mark that out just so you guys can have it on your charts if you want to draw it in. So this zone over here at 6.076 around about is a level of support. And if we hold this level, we can definitely see movements back up to these zones over here. So this will be our next target for So this will be our next target for Link. and you can see that this zone over here is a very, very important zone. It's very important. And why is it important? Because it has been acting as support for a long period of time. So over here, we've been acting as support over here, touched over here. The amount of times that it's been acting as support is very crucial, right? So the reason why I think that we might be going to the upside is because of this massive bullish move from yesterday, but also be aware of the news tomorrow. Filecoin, yeah, sure, I can go over Filecoin for you now. So yeah, Chainlink looking bullish. The next target where I see Chainlink going would be around about 6.663, which is about a 10% move, and that can definitely happen. It can definitely happen. So yeah, let's go over Filecoin. Let me just see. I think I went over it. I haven't. Okay, let's look at Filecoin. So we're on the daily right now, okay? So looking at the daily charts, what are we seeing here? We are seeing that we're currently bullish, and Filecoin is pretty much at one of its lowest points, okay? So in order for us to be bullish and to break structures, what will need to happen, right? So we have to think about this logically. So looking at this chart, we have this big bullish move, right? So we had a movement of 14%, and then now we're currently retracing. So in order for us to be bullish again, what needs to happen is we need to break above this zone. So once we get a candle to close above this area, then we can look at potential targets of around about 4.1414. Okay, so that zone over here would be a potential target, and this zone would need to break. Okay, then so now we have our levels on the daily, right? You can see that this level is acting as a crucial resistance. This level over here, really big resistance. So in order for us to break this resistance, we need a candle to close above it, like I said. So a daily candle closure above this zone would mean that we can extend this movement back up to the top side. And you can see over here, this candle shows you that there's no support or resistance. So within this move to the upside, it will be very, very quick, and it would be very, it will be immediate. Okay, so it will be not immediate. When I say immediate, I mean like 8 hours, which is very short in terms of percentage gain. So a 10% gain in 8 hours is very, very good. So looking at this now, we can go on the 4-hour time frame and see what other levels we have here. Okay, so you can see that this level is valid, but we need a daily closure. But now that we're looking at this, what can be seen over here is that our resistance is actually around about over here on the 4-hour chart, right? So on the 4-hour chart, our resistance is a bit up, but on the daily, it would be a bit below. So the thing is, you're always starting on a higher time frame and just identifying these levels, going down to smaller time frames and seeing where these levels actually are, right? So you can see this level at the top here is valid, very valid level. And what I'll be looking at now, if you want to draw your Fibonacci retracement tool from the start over here to here, let's see where we're currently sitting at. So we've come down, we've tapped into the 0.5 area, so this is our golden pocket, right? So this zone over here is the zone of where price tends to come down and reject from, okay? So if we get another rejection from this zone, we can expect that price can carry on moving up. So in order for us to move to the upside, we need us to stay above this level. We need to stay above this zone over here. And if we consolidate here and start moving up, then we can definitely see that movement back up to 4.141. But if we break below this zone, then we can see movements back down. So this zone is very important because it's currently it's Filecoin's previous support. So if we break below here, we can definitely see it coming back down to 3.4. So at the moment, let's just go down on a 1-hour time frame just to see where these levels are actually at. Yeah, so this level is a very good level. So if we break below here, then we can see some type of movement to the downside. And also drawing some trend lines, a trend line from here to here, we can see that we are currently in some type of a triangular formation, which is typically bullish in terms of, you can see that price has been consolidating like this. So if price comes down again here, breaks above this zone, you can look at entries at around about this 7.24 area. Okay, so if price breaks above here, we can look at entries back up to this zone, and then obviously closures above this area will make us bullish to that zone. So Filecoin not looking too bad. As long as Filecoin holds the support, then we can see movements back up to 3.857. Okay, so yeah, Filecoin not looking too bad. What I would suggest for this, you need to wait for the 1 hour candle closure above this zone. But it will probably consolidate a bit and then close above here, and then look for potential longs up here. So yeah, that's currently my situation for Filecoin. Yeah, not looking too bad. Any other coins that you want me to go over? I know last week there was ApeCoin. I actually sent this out last week, and it hit take profit to the point of to the exact point. So I was speaking about this zone, right? This zone was a very, very important zone, and I was saying that if we break above this area, we can expect long positions for Ape, and we got exactly that, right? So we broke above here, and this move was very nice move to the upside. It was a 21% move. I actually didn't take this personally. I wish I did. But if you took this from the last stream, that's very good. It was a massive movement to the upside. And all these metaverse coins and actually AI coins are doing very well. So if you want to look at some AI coins, you must definitely take a look at them. They're doing very well at the moment, because that's obviously we're in the new era of technology, right? So looking at those type of coins within the bear market may help you very in the long term. So yeah, looking at this now, obviously it hit the top of the range. And what we need to happen now is we need to break the top of this range at 5.105 in order for us to carry on to the upside, right? Because now we're still trading in this range. Yeah, any other charts that you want me to go over? I've gone over, yeah, Solana. I know there's a lot of requests for Solana. Solana has also been doing very well lately, because it's so undervalued. And I honestly do think that it will survive. A lot of people are saying no, but I mean, you can never really know. So, but obviously day trading, it doesn't really matter, because we are just betting on the price of it going up and down. Yeah, sure, I'll go over Doge for you now after this. So looking at Solana, you can see that we broke above this very important resistance zone. So I said in the live, if we break above this zone, above 14.6, then we could see a movement back up to this area, and that's exactly what we got. And the reason why these zones are so important is because they give you the place at where price can go if we break certain zones, right? So obviously we broke this zone, and the next area of resistance was up here. So that's where we currently are at. And now if Solana breaks the 17.7 zone, what we can expect is a huge movement to the upside. And what I mean by that is, when looking over here, the next zone of interest would be this area, right? So this zone is our next zone, because that's our support zone. So if we break this 17.7, I'll be going full margin. I'm joking. I'll be definitely getting positions to the long side, because think about it, this is about a 58%, 50%, 54% to 50% move to the upside, and that would be very big, because within this zone here, we might see some type of resistance over here at around about 20.29, but it's not that crazy in terms of this zone over here. So we might just see price soar to the upside, and obviously tomorrow, we don't know what's going to happen. There might be a massive move to the upside or a massive move to the downside, depending on the CPI data. Yeah, someone said, Sonia said Doge. I'll definitely go over that right now. Dogecoin. Let's go over this. So looking at Dogecoin on the daily chart here, okay, you can see that Dogecoin is looking quite bullish on the daily. So in order for us to remain this you know, this bullness in a way, we need to break certain areas. Okay, so this zone over here is currently our next resistance zone. So over here, yeah, you can see that it is acting as support over here, support over here, and resistance over here. So this 0.07920 zone is what I'll be looking at for potential longs to the upside. And if we don't break above here, then what will happen? We might just consolidate, right? But if we get a daily candle to close above this zone, then we can definitely see some movements back up to the upside, right? So this is the zone I'll be looking at. So I'll say bars valid if daily close. Okay. So that would be, so bars are valid if the daily closes above the zone, because we're on the daily chart. So let's zoom into the 4 hour, see what's happening here. Yeah, same here. So if we get a 4 hour candle close, now we can adjust this, right? Because we're doing a top down analysis. We're looking from higher time frame to lower time frame, right? So you go from the highest time frame, and then you identify your zones, and then you go to lower time frame and be like, and then you carry on doing what you've done on the higher time frame, just adjusting levels depending on what is showing you in the chart, right? So looking over here, we can actually see that we need a 4 hour candle close instead of a daily candle close, right? So if we get a 4 hour candle close, then we can look for longs above here, right? Yeah, you can see how valid this area is. It's acting as resistance over here, support over here, and resistance over here. So it is a very, very important level to watch out for. And obviously, at the moment, we couldn't just break past it yet. We haven't broken past it. So what I'll be looking at, if we close above here, we can see Doge coming back up to areas around about, I would say, this zone over here. So we could actually look at this area here. This is a better zone to look at. And why did I choose that zone? The reason why I chose that zone is because when looking at the past, you can see that price is getting stuck at this area, right? Price is getting stuck at this area. Price is getting stuck at this area. So if price breaks above this area, then we can definitely look for longs back up to this zone. And that movement would be around about 4.6%. And all we need is a 4 hour candle closure above this area, above this zone. The thing is, if we get a 4 hour candle above this recent high, it's still not valid, right? Because we are finding resistance here. So we need it above this zone. This is the zone that we need above. So yeah, I'll be looking at that for Dogecoin. We are currently in a uptrend. We are creating these higher highs and higher lows. And what needs to happen is a candle closure above here. Then I'll be looking for longs to the upside. Yeah, there's not much else to be done here, to be honest. And in terms of analysis, it's quite simple. This range needs to get broken for longs. Then we can look at the 1 hour here and see what's happening. So we have a trend line over here. So if you draw this like this, as well as you can see that there is some type of triangular formation over here. So you could look at potential longing this breakout. So you could look at if price breaks above the structure, you can look for prices back up to the zone. But what I'd rather wait for a candle closure for confirmation above this area, because you can see that there's still resistance over here. So on the 1 hour candle, we might find resistance over here. So I'd wait for a 4 hour candle closure above 0.07920 in order to look for longs. So I'll be looking at something like that, but we need a candle closure, right? So yeah, that's Doge. Nothing too fancy over here. Is there any other charts you guys want me to go over, or any questions you have regarding any different graphs or the news events that are happening? Yeah, just let me know. Yeah, currently over here, I just want to show you what positions I am currently in. So I just need to change this to this. So currently I am in a long position now, and I want to explain this why I'm long on Ethereum. The reason why I'm long on Ethereum is because of this zone here. Okay, a lot of this is my trading style is quite different to a lot of people, but you can see how this area of resistance over here is acting very well. And what I said to my community is that in order for us to go bullish, we need a candle to close above here. So we had this candle closure above here, right? So on the 1 hour time frame, we had a candle close above this area of resistance. And once we got that, we actually started to come down a bit and grab all this liquidity to the upside. And now we're starting to see a movement, right? So this I am still currently long on Ethereum, and I remain long. We might see some type of resistance at this area over here at around 1338.93. So be aware of that if you are long on Ethereum. But it does look very good, and if you look on the 4 hour chart, it just confirms how nice it's looking. So yeah, I am currently long on Ethereum, and then looking at Bitcoin, it's the same chart. Same chart over here. Looking at this chart, we can see that, what has been happening here. So the same thing goes with Bitcoin. We are currently finding resistance over here, right? So once we break above here, we are basically grabbing all this liquidity over here and pushing past the sellers. So the buyers are having more momentum to the upside, right? So what I'll be looking at now is I am also in a position over here, and what needs to happen is we need to close above this zone in order for us to continue this move to the upside. So still looking good for the upside today. Yeah, there's not much else happening, but yeah, the Ethereum trade is doing quite well. And obviously, yeah, if there's any other questions, please do not hesitate to ask. If you guys have just joined, please be aware that we do have CPI tomorrow. CPI inflation news is coming out, so we'll find out what that entails. But basically, do not trade at 3:30 SA time. It's very risky because, like I said earlier, what can happen is on the 13th of December, right, is when we last had our news. So the 13th of December was over here. So this whole movement was within news. So when the news came out at 3, we got this massive move to the upside, and then we had a massive move to the downside straight after. So you can just see how news makes it so volatile, right? So that's what we're going to expect tomorrow. We're going to expect similar stuff where we get a massive pump or we get a massive dump. And it kind of just ranges like that. Obviously, it depends on what the news is going to do, but we don't know, right? We don't know that the news is going to come out bullish or bearish in terms of crypto. We have to wait until the news comes out. So yeah, that's currently my take on all the markets. I'll have 2 minutes for any questions. I'll wait here, and if there's no questions, I think we can end it here. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I hope you guys learned a lot today. But I will stay on for some questions. Awesome. I think I'm going to call it then. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate you being here. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done already. And see you guys on Friday for our next updates. Thanks so much for tuning in. See you guys then.